Maybe set node is not the right word. Well, it's not even. Set nodes or add nodes or hello, Lewandowski. Trying to make this compile. These last lines. This last stuff. Those 3 lines are new and they don't compile. And I want them to compile. So the idea is here that I have a node and I treat it as a table by adding a whole vector to it. I think it looks a lot like this. But table is a node, so I have to add it to a node. Which is a graph item. Well, it's a graph item of no data. But still, you know. Yeah, I think it's time to make a node a real thing, as in class node is now derived from public. Which then makes this a forward declaration. It's simply a class. No data is not used here. Oops. So the add table, I have to copy it again. And then I add that to node. Now I can call data. Because data is a member function of graph item. Protected. So that gives me a reference to data underscore. This gives me a reference to the allocated, well, data object, which then is actually a node data. The node has node data, and then on node data I call again add table, and it is, we just pass it on. And I think that happened, that is the same as it was in the case of the graph, like here. And then we end up in graph data add table, which then didn't try and place into a table nodes. No. If I call this on a node, something goes wrong. Unless I just, let it use more memory by using node data to store both a normal node or a table node. Not sure we want to do that though. But then again, plus I renamed it to add container, right? Or add elements. Add elements, sorry. Concept table is not really concept table. We like concept utils container or something like that. Indexable container. Hey, Shoy. I think I'll start with deleting this from graph because it's just confusing. I have to rewrite that part. No more add table here. Or here. Or here. Which then means that we can delete this from here and put it in node where I'm now using it. Let's put it there, I guess. And then, yeah, I'm just calling it on data, and so that appears here then. I was going to rename it to something else. I don't like the word table. Concept indexable, is that a word? Apparently it is. No, and then table I guess can be renamed to container or something. Okay, so the user calls this, and then we just pass it on to the data object, which is here. And I think then it's really time to store it somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to have a sneak view at the graph again anyway though, because that did this. It creates an ID. Should not be necessary anymore, I think. I already have an ID now. My node has an ID. Well, the graph node has an ID. Graph item data is derived from graph item ID, which has an ID. So I have an ID. Wait. I want to go to the graph here. I have the ID already, and then we just do a try and place somewhere into something where that is table nodes is a map. Let's begin with removing this as well. Okay, so I need just to copy a lot of stuff from graph.hpp to node.hpv. Let's put that here. Let's put this here. I'm definitely going to have to add something back, but I don't know yet what, so I'll just delete it. I think that might be easier, hopefully. Do I put it in node? No, not put it in node. Put it in node data. That would be private. And this has to be public, I guess. Yep, and then we have, so let's delete everything. And the ID is then the ID of the graph item data, which is the base class, public base class. It's private, so we'll just have to call ID then, I suppose. First element is the key, and the second and the third are used as for the constructor of the elements, and that is the constructor of table node. This one. That's an ID. Wait a minute. I don't think ID is returning a unique ID, is it? Don't think so. I think it's returning an ID type. So yeah, we call ID here. Which returns an ID type. Just automatically converted from that type, apparently. So we take an ID type and the table, well, it's not really table, I renamed that to container. Let's use container here as well. If a good type, container. And I don't call it a dot ID when it is an ID type, I call it ID. And then we pass this lambda here, where we capture container instead of a table. Container. So this constructor here is implemented in terms of this constructor, which is defined up here, which then also takes, of course, an ID type. And the lambda, and we pass the ID to, graph item ID. And that graph item ID is taking a unique ID. I hope not. Oh shit. Yeah. Once converted back to T, you cannot make it a unique ID anymore. I should probably never convert it. Well, as long as possible, I should not convert it. Kind of means that maybe I should just change type ID to be the unique ID. Why not? The unique ID is just a wrapper around the type anyway. I think that's probably the best solution here. So this can be a type ID, then we store type ID. And yeah, and then everything is called ID. The dot ID, I mean, except this. And sometimes I call it ID, and sometimes I call it dot ID. How annoying. I guess I'll rename this to dot ID as well, and dot ID is a bit short. And then here we just make it ID type becomes utils a unique ID. Stopping absolutely everything from compiling. Okay, and here we have a vector of table node data, which is being constructed from the data of a node, which is node data. So how does that work? Table node data is just a graph item ID. No, we can only construct it from an ID type. Confusing. I don't know. Let's try to compile it. No, by now I completely lost what I was doing, so and then I stop. Why is this not deleted? This is in graph.hpp. Okay, so one big mess. We made a lot of changes, of which most are probably good. But I did not make enough changes, that's for sure. And maybe a few mistakes. So I just start to compile and then fix all the compile errors. Redefinition of as unique ID context with a different yeah. I changed the ID type. That used to be that. You cannot have a unique ID context of a unique ID, so this is the wrong one. So this is the good one. No, this is the wrong one. This is using ID type. So that would be probably there. No, this is just an uint 32 type. Probably should use a type there for that anyway. But okay. No template named map in namespace std. Use of undeclared identifier node. Well, that's not good. I'm including node here, so why would it not be defined? Oh yeah, now node now is also a table node, so node is including table node. And then table node cannot include node. It's a bit recursive, very annoying. But I don't think I really need to return a node here, or do I? Hell, I'm even... Oh, it's gonna place big add. Wait, data. Oh, I'm calling data on it, right? So this thing here, that's what it returns. Yeah, those are nodes. Nothing I can do about it. Container is supposed to contain objects derived from node. So by returning one element of the container, we will return something that can be converted to a node cons reference. This is the return type, right? Return type of this lambda here is that. Hello, Piotr. I'm writing a graph viz wrapper, basically. It's a little bit more difficult than that, but well. Bottom line, we cannot do this here. Oh, this is really annoying. Really, it's, I know how to solve it, but maybe it's just not the right thing to do. To make a node also a table node. Maybe you should just use two different classes. I think a node. Yeah. So I made a lot of changes, and now it turns out that probably I made a mistake and just nothing is good. Let me see if I want to rewind completely. Just deleted a lot of shit. We changed the meaning of ID type. I moved and renamed the concept. Still want to do that though. Okay, we'll try to clean up the mess from here. Oh god, I feel old. The problem here is that I just cannot keep in my mind, aka I remember what I'm doing. All those changes. I'm making a lot of changes and then just lose my oversight. Okay, anyway, the idea is to make a table node, okay? So like that, for a table. Now it's no longer a node. Yeah, that's too much. I'm gonna reset, I think, completely and start over. Let me have a good look at the div again. Is there anything I need to keep? Difficult. I guess I still have table node. So let's not reset this. Do I want to rename? Do I want to make node a class yet? Let's say no. So then I do want to reset this. For write all tables. So do I want to have table nodes in my graph? I think so. But it's not going to be table node. It's going to be table node data, I think. Let's not reset it anyway. Probably need to keep this as well. So I want to reset it. I think this is correct. I should delete it from here. So I do not want to reset it. This nodes. I do need a node, so I'm printing it. Although it should be table node data, I think. It's a bit vague. Let's reset this to add it back. Reset, restore. And this yeah, let's remove this, so not reset it, right? It's an N. Same thing here, and then the same thing here. Now we're in graph item ID. And the faintest clue what this is doing. Attribute list. I don't know. Discard is hunk. Do not discard, quit discard, do not discard, leaves this hunk undecided. See next undecided hunk. And I'm just gonna do J. think I should indeed redefine ID type. Yeah, let's try keeping this, I guess. That again. I don't know, it's for now restored. And then this I should keep. And I should keep this. And now you get a hunk that is like huge. Split it up. Yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, let's first skip it. Okay, I wanted to add this one back. Or I want to add this one here, I guess. So keep it. Yeah, I want to keep it now, but I not in this file really. Well, I keep it, but it should be moved. Class node. So let's reset that one. And this, well, I guess I have to keep it. And the first one is okay, the second one is okay. And the last things are... let's keep everything, I don't know, man. Now let's keep this as well. Okay, that was one big miss. That's a big miss. Let's look at from the user point of view. I think that what I really should do now is call this a table node, right? So I have a table node and then I add elements to the table node. That's what the user does, and then we go on with adding the table. That looks also, add table. And then I have an edge which was already added to the graph, and I set nodes and I pass the nodes N11, why not, and then the second element of table. That should work. I think that I want that to compile. Now table node must be a new class that looks a lot like node but isn't node. Which means that I'm going to include table node. Let's put it there. So it looks a lot like node, but it isn't. Node currently has this, but I said I wanted to remove that. We're not going to do that here. And this is my table node. Well, so that's going to end up somewhere here. This is node data, which now has table nodes and stuff like that, which is ridiculous. All of this can be gone, I guess. We have to put it somewhere here. Probably in a class called table node data, which is then probably derived from graph item data. I'm just guessing here, I guess. I'm guessing. The ultimate insecurity. And now? Now this looks awfully like I could have used using. Didn't I? Wasn't that what I did before? Look at the comments. I would say that is the case. Table node no longer required. I think we changed node back to what it was. Nah, I doubt that this is necessary inside here. Maybe there. Let's move it up. Now, wait a minute. So, node was derived from that. So that's what I expect to have here now. Except that we're going to use table node data, which then has that. So we don't have that here. I don't know about this. Let's just, for now, just comment it out. I don't think we need that. Yeah, okay, so there's again a few rough changes that probably are only 30% correct. Completely lost track again. So let's see if we can. Table node data is set to graph item ID. I don't think so, right? We defined it again here, so. Unknown type name attribute list. No idea why that included suddenly disappeared, but well. Unknown type name attribute list. Okay, that's interesting. Just added the header. Randomly I'm going to do something else. I still want to have this as a type def, I have to say. Either that, or I can access it from here. I don't have it type def for T here, so no. Okay, let's use ID type the way it was, and then make a new, because I can't think of another name. And I'm gonna call this dot ID type. It's pretty random, isn't it? Just to make sure everything is maximum broken. Bing, 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 boing, ping, ping, ding. Oh yes, I could use that. A shoulder rub. Hey, post. So kind of means that now I have to replace all the type IDs with .id type. ID type, I mean, with .id. So the same thing with dot in front of it. Hopefully that works. I'm not sure I want to do that actually. On the other end. Let's try it. Let's try it. Get table nodes, everything, right? I mean, not even going to think about it. Just replace everything and then we'll see what the compiler thinks of it. No, ID is probably already correct. Just change that. Make. Yeah, that problem. I just didn't want to think about it, I guess. So apparently we have a circular header dependency again. What is attribute list including then? And why does it suddenly stop working? Attribute list is including attribute, which it should, because it's using that. Nothing we can do about that. Attribute is including nothing. Completely self-sufficient. IO stream. What is this including IO stream? No. What is the problem with the attribute list? File not found. I see this error and I think something. I don't. Wait. Was this the same error as before? Have I been this blind all this time? Yep. My brain. No. This is what I saw. Oh. Well, I'm still blind. So I saw this. Then I added a header. And then the error changed into file not found, and I didn't see that. I just interpreted it still as the same error as before. My God, why? So I included the wrong header, yeah. I included a header, but not the right header. And then I thought that the error stayed the same. Oh, so bad. Unknown class graph item data. Did you mean graph item ID? No, I meant graph item data. well, graph item data exists. We'll just have to include graph item to get it. No ID. Hopefully that works. And by the way, graph item includes graph item ID, which includes ID, id.h, which I bet includes utils unique ID, so I don't need that. Vector. Nobody's using vector here. Not yet anyway. Right, type def redefinition with different types. Using no data as graph item data, and no data is for declared here. I have to admit that is pretty annoying. Now you're telling me the node is graph okay. Yeah. I think it was a class before, but since it's empty, now I switch to using. Type diff redefinition, different types. Again, graph item data. See if I even use no data. Oh, I'm using no data as in a batch. Yeah, so maybe I should not. Well, what? Why am I even using? Why am I using it in a batch then? This makes no sense. I think maybe as a precaution for, you know, I have graph data, edge data, table nodes. Doesn't even end on data, by the way. I probably need to change this to table node data. Also, you know, defensive. And then I probably thought, well, let's make no data. Let's make star data a class. So okay, and then now it's a class. Who cares? Make C tags. Node data is a class. Okay, back to class. Could I make a movie of that? Back to class. Sure, let's make it a class then. An empty class. Right, quit all. Make. Unknown type name, table node data. Forgot to forward declare of that then. I just randomly added it. See, they are all ending on the data. So who am I to make use something that doesn't have a data at the end? So far, no really big structural changes, right? Just almost typo stuff. No template named map in namespace SCD. A missing header. Remember having deleted that header even. Do I really need that here? Yeah, I think so. Probably. So none of these bug fixes, compile fixes are really doing anything about the mess that I made. Use of undeclared identifier table node. So the user uses a table node, which then has a pointer to table node data, which then stores a map of something. And that something probably warrants its own class as well. Yeah. So we have in GraphViz something that is interpreted by GraphViz as a node, but Dot will visualize it or draw it as a table. And I call that table node. So it's a single node and it looks like a table. But the table exists of elements which my library, which I'm now writing, wants to interpret it as nodes by themselves. So I called those the nodes of the table, aka table node. So and this is really a table and this is an element of the table. I'm gonna call it table element though. Plus, I made that already. No, I didn't. I repurposed it. Okay, so did I really completely? This looks like a single element. So I think this is table element. No, not. It runs over all the ports. I think this is table node data. Probably. Yeah. Nodes port is now a table element. So I need something with ID or something that is printable. It makes no sense actually to make print an ID. I want a print a label. Let's print a label. So let's make a new header. I included a table element.hpv, which then is a pragma once namespace cpp graphviz. And then I have here class table elements, which now needs a public thing that returns a string called label. And then as a test, I guess I'll just return hello. So friendly. God, I'm so friendly. Hello. No. Is it that late again already? Compile. Use undeclared identifier ID. I renamed that, I guess, to .id. Didn't I? .id. It is now called .id. Yeah, looks like it. And it returns a .id type. Okay. .id. And then we use the .id to emplace back whatever is in table nodes, which is a table element. Aha, so my table element must be constructible from a type ID and a container, which is this. So let's write that and then add a table node again, as well as my new file, table elements. And then we move this to the element. Now called table element. I have the feeling that we are getting there. We are over the half. Things are falling into place, as it were. Element, table elements, element. Okay. So I'm constructing a table element by calling this, and that then does whatever it did before, which then calls this, which then emplaces it back into nodes we don't have. So I need to add a nodes here. Private. Need a nodes. What the hell is that? Looks like a vector, standard vector. Standard vector of something. And place back node. This is a node. The only thing I can do is just put nodes in it, I think. Is that nonsensical or not? Oh wait, this is a node. It returns add is this thing, which is this lambda, which returns something derived from a node. And then we call data on that, so that's a node data actually. I have no idea if I want to make a copy of that though. Why wouldn't I just store nodes? Seems more logical. I think I should return node by value then. So then we have now a lambda that returns a node, or this is a node rather. And then we construct the return type by using copy constructor. But that is then passed to emplace back. I'm still confused about the difference between emplace back and push back when you use copy constructor anyway. I don't think there's much difference, is there? It kind of feels like that it would be better to use, say, pushback, especially if I'm going to move it, but I don't have to move it because it's an R value anyway. It's an R value because add now returns by value. So the return thing is now going to be moved, I hope, copied by using the move constructor, which is I don't know, 2 clock cycles faster, because it's a wrapper around the boost intrusive pointer with a reference count, you know. We're gonna need 10 billion copies now to get back the save back the time that I wasted by talking about this. Anyway, wait. Loads of missing headers here. Well, let's see a vector. Include string. Include. I think I call it id.hpv. So probably should call it .id now. Let's rename that. It's a bit short, id. That looks like it. Oh, standard function. But then which other file includes this? Because it was something that is already including it. It's then no longer correct. I guess that one should not include it. And to git move id.hpp to .id.hpp while I'm at it, cxx, which means I need to edit that file as well. Dot. And then of course grab all the includes of id.h. What? Oh, HPP. The dot of renaming dot files. I mean, I can't think of the word. Next. The burden of renaming files, something like that. Make. Nope. Use of undeclared identifier node. Seriously? Got a node.hpp here. No member named ID. Graph item ID is not a direct or virtual base class of table element. Maybe it should be. Wait, graph item ID. Yeah, no, it's derived from that, obviously. Graph item. Called to implicitly delete the default constructor of edge data. Okay, does not ring a bell. I think the default constructor should just always exist. So why would that not exist then? Oh, it does exist, but it is deleted, implicitly deleted, because the field from has no default constructor. Oopsies, yep, I'm getting it. That is the reason that we renamed this to .id, while then we must initialize it. Cannot do it afterwards. So I'm using a set nodes here instead of doing it by constructor, which is what I want, which means that I cannot use .id here, so I'll have to use id type. Hopefully that will go correctly. We can never go back to id type then, so that must be returned to .id type, I mean. It has to be like that, and then this set nodes gets .id, but that automatically implicitly converts to an id type. So that still works, but I don't know, somewhere has to break somewhere, I would say. And this is where it breaks, I guess. You call from ID, and then I want to return. So now we get an avalanche of sorry, you cannot go back to .id type. Hopefully it will end somewhere before you run out of options. That's just renaming stuff. I renamed a lot. I have to think about. I think a movie was Psycho. This guy says at some point, "I just had to kill a lot of people," and he says it so brilliantly. I can't even copy it. The way he says it, I just had to kill a lot of people. I have to watch the movie again just to see him say that one sentence again. Forgot what I was doing. Soup. I did not eat any soup today. I didn't eat dinner. I left the stream because I wanted to go eat, but then I was lazy. Use of undeclared identifier ID. Okay, I had enough of this. And actually that's what I was planning to grab for all IDs and then fix them all at once. Use of undeclared identifier nodes. So this is in table node data. Table nodes. No. No, 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 no. HPP. Let's add it table element, I think. Not sure though. Now that has a node. Where did I move my right to? Did I just move it here? I moved it. I moved it here, right? I don't know what to do. This is nonsense. Well, the comment is nonsense, maybe. No. Just nonsense. Map. Table element, really? Just... what? Yeah, completely did that wrong. An element should be a single element, and I move the whole vector in here. That's nonsense. I thought the element was the one that needed the label thing. Oh, okay, we have that, but I don't need this. I think that should be part of this class. And this is just nonsense, I think. Or actually, this belongs in... this should be, I think... I think this should be table node data. And then this belongs in graph. Yeah, I deleted that from graph. No, not graph, graph data. I did not delete it. I have this. Close enough. Data. Then I don't do anything with it. It's fair enough, except here. Is then might or might not compile. Well, probably this is data. Which we'll call it like that then. Equal write HTML2 on a table node data. So this indeed belongs here. Let's call this elements, otherwise it gets so confused. plural elements. But is that correct? Add elements, yeah, try and place into elements. Can you see now it makes sense? And then these are constructors. Would rather have them below the public. And then they also must be renamed to table node data. I think they have visited every class by now. Just keep copying the constructors around until it compiles. Table node data. Yeah, and then I give up again and I'll just go try to compile it. I mean, what the hell. Didn't even look at the error, I must admit. Graph item ID is not a direct... Oh, again. Seriously. Oh, I moved it. No. No, please. Oh, fuck this. No, it's a graph item data. That creates its own ID. Uh-oh. Oh, I have no idea what's going on anymore. These constructors also do not belong here. I'm sitting in pitch dark again. It's difficult typing, man. Yeah, that's what I mean. And if let me turn on the light. I'm back. Push bunny, I'm back. Table node data. Yeah, well, I just commented it out. And now it will compile. Because I commented it out. No member named try and place in standard vector. Yeah, that's correct. That is totally correct. Elements is a vector. What am I trying to place in? Place back. Anyway, down to 2 errors instead of 3. Use undeclared identifier nodes. Is this still part of table node data? Right to HTML. Yeah, well, I moved it around so often that by now it should be in the right class. The thing is called elements. Oh, right, I remember that. I renamed it. Elements. Elements. No member named label in graph. What? Graph item. Graph is no data. And this error, no member named add elements in table node. Do I have an add elements anywhere at all? I do. So I have something called table node, and that does not have an add elements. What could that be? Yeah, I beg to differ. What am I not seeing, people? What am I not seeing? Help me. Table node, add elements. Add elements defined here, which is inside table node data. Oh, that's what I was not seeing. Well, okay, so we have the edit here as well. Pretty sure I had that before. Did that get lost? Data. Dot. Add elements. Container. For example, if we look at, now let's look at Edge. Edge has, for example, set nodes, and then it just calls data and then set nodes on that. Passes it on. That's what we do here as well. Pass it on. No matching function for call to construct add. Construct add of what? Construct of what? Construct graph item CPP graph node data. Graph item node data. I guess that should be table node data. Elements contains what? Node element. It's a node element, right? Yeah, I'm placing back into elements. That should be a node element. Oh, why am I storing nodes here? Yeah, I think now we got to the kernel of it. The kernel of the mess. This is it. What should it have been? No, you have to understand it. That's hard. Yeah, I cannot have just nodes. I think that's a decision I made somewhere. That's why we have a node element. Table element. Table element has my label. And it's a graph item ID. There. Which can only be constructed from an ID. shit. Still don't know what to do with this. Definitely will need a tail element though. That is constructed, sorry, that passes a .id. Yeah, down to a single file, a single error it seems, at least at the moment. No matching function for call to construct add. Trying to construct a table element from an unique ID in instantiation. That's my files. Okay, so from here, that's correct. Candidate template ignore substitution failure. No matching constructor for initialization of table elements. It's a bit vague. Our table element does not have the right constructor. That's because I'm passing a container here, which makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, let's have a look there then. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that basically I want to something with no, what was the last one? VI that. I guess this is not a constructor anymore or something like that. Let's put it in here and then change it into a function called add elements. So here I have a template which takes an ID and a container. And now I have here a graph item data as base class which derives from graph item ID, which takes an ID. Does take an ID? No, it generates it here. Graph item data generates ID in advance. So we already have the ID, and then I think that this is the same as that. So I have to call something else because I want to get rid of. So here I should be calling let's say add elements. And then I don't know, maybe this. Where the ID comes from the base class, and so that would be .id. Well, we don't have to pass that, I guess, because I'm just passing on lambda then. Lambda, which captures container and takes a size type I, which I cast back to the index type. And then use it as an index on the container, which we then return. But I also pass the size of the container to that other add elements. And that was this one. And now then that one is a void add elements, not being a template, not having an ID, but taking size type and a standard function, not having to initialize that, and then running over all elements and pushing them back into elements. No matching member function for call to push back, because might as well go here. Now trying to push back a node into elements, which is a table element. That didn't work. Why do I have a node here? Because I have a node here. It's okay, so I'll try to construct a table element from a node. I don't want to copy it, I guess. Copy the node. Copy the ID of the node. Anyway, yeah, this must be a node. Node const reference. Okay. Definitely more complex on this, but for now I can just say node.data dot ID, except that we don't have access to data. Would have to pass a batch, and then table element must have access. It's starting to get annoying. Table element does not have access, and I'm out of template parameters. So can I just pass a .id to table element? Table node data did have access, right? I think so. So okay, I'm still, but I probably need the data. Why not just pass the data then? I'm an idiot. Data, at least. Wait a minute. I pass the data. See, I would like to pass I think a pointer to the data rather, which is just a node. So yeah, let's not do that. Table element store nodes makes sense in a way. No, wait, no data. No data doesn't move in memory. It's just allocated on the heap. Single instance. Therefore, this yeah, but it has to store pointers, I'm afraid. Table element must store nodes. Gonna do node. Why? Then why is it derived from graph item? Nah, that's basically a trick around it. Private. Expected member semicolon. Why did all do that? Guys, we have a compile. Oh my god, how long did that take? 3 hours. 3 hours and it compiled. Yeah, okay, let's see. My last time I ran it, application was up here. That's not what I wanted. Not at all. I have a node with an ID 0 that points to itself. It's completely not what I wanted. Damn it, what went wrong? But hey, it compiled. Is that everything we have? Well, that's the edge. I think nothing got added at all. This is a cluster. This is simple. This is simple nodes. Well, we have 2 nodes, N and N2, and then we have this subgraph, and then we have a lot of edges. And the only thing I see is that it's not generating it at all. But okay, that's possible, of course. Let's add it. Graph. HPP. Yeah, write all tables. This has no output, I think. The table nodes is empty. It's kind of weird. It's not what you want. Is it empty? Oh. Gotta be kidding me. Why did that not start my debugger? What the hell? Nothing, huh? Nothing. Sorry for the magic. One magic coming up. Verbose makefile is on. It's not on. It's not printing anything at all. I go here to turn it on and it's not on. You gotta be kidding me, right? Why is it not on? Echo, what a F, does that work? Something like this. I'm just guessing here. It's off. Okay, so some reason we didn't resource this. Now it's on. Now we can reconfigure. And then we can recompile everything. And then, well, actually I can still see it already. Debugging is compiled in. Why would not do attach TDP then? Possible. No, either way, never get there, or a debugger suddenly broken. I'll do something else, I guess. I don't know why that doesn't work. Why would I never get here? Of course I get here. Totally get here. Twice. No. So attach TDB is not working. For some reason. We'll do it with debug output. We'll write all tables. We don't get there. Okay. Is debugging even turned on? Still, I saw that it was turned on, but now I want to know it for sure. See, notice. Debugging is turned off. But I saw it compile with CW debug. Defined. It's completely impossible, this. Oh, unless... No. Yeah, have that as well. I have debug output here. Why would I not have debug output at the other spot? Huh? Getting desperate now. Desperate measures in desperate times. call it a binary search. Still have output there. And vanished. Right dot. Data right dot. Maybe it's because I'm running to standard cout and the debug output is also running to standard cout. Yeah, and that's it. No, that cannot be it. Wait a minute. Now I don't know. For a moment I thought that cout you get an error on the debug output OStream, but then I would have no output at all. Also not to dot format. Okay, we'll continue. So calling right dot on graph. That would be this one. Now I'm getting maximum desperate. That's graph. And then the other one is this one. Oops. Without entering. It just vanishes after this. Yeah. No, wait, this is graph. And the other one is not here. Graph data. This is graph data. Now I'm still worried about possible OStream going bad. So let's flush every output. Sorry, I just do TPS that I just did. That's not it. The other right dot. flush if I think it was. See if that compiles. Yep. Nope, nothing. So we never get there. It claims that we never get. It's impossible, of course. Of course we get here. Huh? Let's see if assert still works. Yep, also assert doesn't work. So we really don't get there, or debug is completely turned off. That is, that file is not compiled with the debug. And it isn't. It's not compiled with debugging. Of course, everything is for 100% my own stupid error, as usual. Object list must be used also for libraries if you want to. I'm just literally not compiling debugging into this library here. I'm just not. Target link libraries. Private, I think, is good enough here. Need to add a target. The target here is this. Hopefully now it works. So now we are compiling graph.cxx with the debugging support. Yeah, that was it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, that was it. No, very friendly suddenly. You have debug output. I forgot why I was adding the debug output, but well. Yeah, okay, we get here. So now I can write here the size of the table. Just print it. We could print everything, well, except that I have to include probably some header. What header shall I include? I think that we cannot print table. No, oh, we cannot print table no data. No, I don't need to. Let's just print the size. No, size is 0. I should remove everything again because I'm writing to dependency out. Or I can set the debug output to route to standard error, I guess. I need to remove it again. No, this was 0, so I might as well delete it. So table nodes is not being updated. No, indeed, it's not just shortcut of the above was grep and then see that it is declared and we loop over it. So it's totally empty, of course. Yeah, okay. So what is the user trying to do? The user is trying to do, oh, I'm not even adding it to the table. I'm not adding. I'm just adding it. I created a table node. Yeah, I commented it out because we never wrote code for it. Yeah, and I didn't. I saw that. Yeah, I'm so stupid. It's table node. I created a table node now. Here, which is has a reference, boost intrusive pointer. I mean to table node data. And if you call add elements on it, then just you call add elements on the table node data, which then adds it neatly into this vector. And that's it. That's all we do. Next, I call add table. And then we should see the table. I still don't have an edge then, but definitely had to have a table one. So now I need to add an add table to my graph, where the table is a table node. It's pretty damn close to add edge, I think, or add node for that matter. It's just this. I might as well add it here. I think. Well, that should work right, because it looks exactly like the other function. If that one works, then this one should work as well. Okay, add table node. Yeah. Below add edge. Okay, I did, however, call it add table instead of add table node, but now it's called add table node. Let's see if that works. Back to compile error fixing, of course. So probably a few stupid typos. No matching constructor initialization of graph table node data. Let's make it even more the same. No variable conversion from graph item to graph table something. Something is so really different. Oh, it's a different thing. Okay. Yippee. Table nodes. Okay, so we run over table nodes, which is a map that gives me a pair then, which I call table node data. Yeah. Actually, I'm not. No, neither I'm doing that here. Now we have the graph item stuff in between here. Graph item table node data. Table node pair seconds. Table node data, table node dot data. Table node, there's no add table node. Oh no, that again, yeah. So I did add a table node, but only to the graph data. Add table node. So the graph also needs then that dot is everything. Add edge, add table nodes. Data dot add table node, pass it on. I'm not sure if I want. I could just run it, see, look at the dot file, but hey, who knows? Syntax error. It's writing debug output into my graph dot. Oh, all the debug output is problematic. Yeah, no, okay. Let's remove all of it then. Yeah, well, that's our node with the labels that are now hello, hello, hello. Well, this is the table node, and what this thing is doing here, I have no clue. Where does that even come from? It's an edge. Oh, I added an edge. Oh, I added an edge without setting the nodes. So that's where that comes from. Okay, so then we do this last thing. So that was E5. And this now doesn't compile because we don't know how to do this, the square brackets on the table. So I do square brackets on a table node, then I want to get back, I guess, a node from table. That should be not that hard. And then I am done for today. So later as well. So I need something that returns a node. So returns a node const reference, and it is an operator something which takes a size type, I think, as index. So of course const. And then I'm passing that on to the data. I'm just calling it I think this is correct. Pretty much, isn't it? I'm not too sure about the size type though. Twice. That's an int. I hate size types. I really hate unsigned types. Every unsigned type, except when it's a bit mask. This is just an int. I'm going to use int. Really, who cares? No, I lost it. What was the last change that I made? Where did I make the last change? Table node. I'm going to use an int. Okay, data returns a table node data. So down here I want to have an exact same thing, but then not called operator whatever, but add. Now this is just a vector, so you can do elements index. And then we have a table elements. And the tail element must be converted to node. Let's just do that as a node. Const reference, call it get, I guess. Get node. I don't know. Man, making up names are always so difficult. Right? I'll call it. I guess I'll call it node. Return node. So, yep. Dot node. What, did you expect that I had a error or something? Compile error? No. Only warnings. Only warnings. Pretty serious warning though. What did I do? Oh no, here's the make. Okay, so there we are. No edge. Oh, wait. Yeah. Well, it's still weird that I don't have no edge, I must say, but I guess I would never add it. What did it add? Added this. I have a node 6, but we don't have a node 12. That's why it doesn't show it. The point is this should have been 14:1. Well, it's too late, I'm going to stop. So I'll just show you guys how it is supposed to be. So what I want to print here in the end is 14:1. And then we get the output that I was looking for. Like that. So it draws an arrow from, well, N11, whichever, to the second element of my table node. And of course I can also draw it to the other ones. For example, column 2 draws it to the second element, the third element I mean, and so on. Pretty cool. I'll fix that tomorrow, I guess. That is works automatically. And I have to fix the labels, because there's still just hello in it. Not sure what I want that label to be. I think the label should be whatever the label is. And interpreting it as a node. Really, these are A's, and A's are nodes, so I could just do, for each of them, I could just loop over them. Now, so I'm gonna loop over node references. Let's call n v1 and add attributes. A label. Label string. Oh no, let's put the labels in a different thing. Should we well Pickadoodle? So label. Yeah, I need to run over it as an int. Then I runs from 0 till the size of v1 plus I. v1i at attributes label. But yeah. V1. Oh, sorry. Hello. And now you can't notice. Yeah. Well, I didn't change anything, but it adds internally then those labels, and then I can tomorrow look at it and get them out, extract them from the bowels of my code, print them. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good night. Heizas asks, more than an hour ago. Should I deallocate memory with delete if I need to clear vector class pointer, or do I only need clear? That depends if the vector is the owner of the memory. But if it was, then you probably shouldn't use pointers to begin with. I would use a smart pointer or a unique pointer, standard unique pointer. Vector of... he left anyway, so I'm wasting my time, right? Hi Zas, are you still there? Let me point it at. Hi. Wow, he's still there. Okay, I would suggest vector of standard unique pointer. I'll type that. Unique pointer class. I can't type. Edit. Can I edit this? Remove. Yeah, I can only remove it. Yeah, I meant unique pointer. If you do it like that, then if you clear the vector, then all the elements are destructed. And destructing a unique pointer, then we'll call delete on that pointer. But unique pointer can only contain, only one unique pointer can exist, right? So then it is automatically the owner, the only owner of that manager, of the managed memory, whatever. If you need other pointers, then you would have to work with weak pointers. So you could say you have a unique pointer, you can turn it into a weak pointer and you can use that, but then you must make sure that you keep the vector around as long as the weak pointers exist, I think. Actually, I'm not sure because I've never, hardly ever worked with weak pointers. Look into these two, I guess. But yeah, if your classes, the lifetime of your classes are determined by the existence inside that vector, then you would either use unique pointers and then elsewhere weak pointers, or you would use other smart pointers with the reference count. You know, then it gets a little bit slower. So I use always a boost intrusive pointer for that. You could also use the shared pointer. So shared pointer. Yeah, and then the yeah, with a lowercase. If you use that, then the owners, all of them are owner. Then it's just the class is just kept alive until the last shared pointer is destructed. So in that case, you could clear the whole vector and still keep working with the objects if you have other shared pointers that also point to it. In general, C++ programmers don't use pointers a lot. They use one of those things. That's why they have been written. Because people make very quickly errors with them. And then if you look at my stream, then you will learn the wrong thing because I use pointers all over the place. But that's because I keep track of the lifetime in my head until now. And then I just know what I'm doing. And then it's not a problem. I don't think you have to, you know, I mean, I'm starting to learn what it is to not having an overview and not understanding what you're doing. But that wasn't the case for me in the past. And I don't think it's a good idea to use smart pointers because you don't know what you're doing. I don't think that's the right reason. You should always know what you're doing, so you have a clear mental picture of who is the owner of memory and what who determines the lifetime of your object. And then you choose the smart pointers that fit that, but you choose them because you need them, not because you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of people are doing that. They are so afraid of pointers that they think, well, I'll make everything a shared pointer, so I'm sure that the object still exists when there is a shared pointer laying around somewhere. But in reality, they just don't have an overview of which object is having the shared pointer, and it's just fuzzy, vague stuff, and let's shared pointer so it won't crash. Well, nah. Try to understand what you're doing. Try to understand what the exact lifetime is of your objects and why you need them to keep alive, etc. And then you pick which smart pointer you want to use. And if you can go with unique pointer instead of shared pointer, then you should always do that. Okay, I'm gonna go stream. Thank you for watching, man.